So I've been wanting to speak on something that has been difficult to talk about, and my throat chakra has been very blocked. I have not been able to talk to the person who triggered me about this issue, so I'm bringing it to you guys to talk about today. One of my greatest childhood wounds that has come to the surface is just dealing with the fact that my family may not always accept me for who I am, and feeling that mirrored through an experience that I had with a partner of mine. Trigger warning, the topic today is one that is difficult to talk about, and it involves the topic of homophobia. And some people may not realize, even when they're saying something, that it is homophobic, or how deeply that can hurt somebody, or how harmful some of the things that they say can be. But I'm just going to explain the experience, and hopefully you guys will understand where I'm coming from. All of my life, I was raised in a very non-traditional circumstance. I don't know whether it was passed down through genetics or if it was passed down through my experiences with my father and the way that he raised me because of his military background, of being a Marine, and just me being held to really high standards, and being raised in a really tough way, you could say. But I am very balanced in my masculine and my feminine. And I know that that is something that intimidates a lot of people, and it's been really hard for me to find a male partner who accepts me for who I am when it comes to things like that, because I am not only the carer and the nurturer and the provider in that sense, I'm also very masculine in the way of taking care of things around the house, building things. I cook and clean, I can sing to a baby, and I can change a diaper, and I can do all that. But I'm also very into, mechanical things, and I'm a stagehand for a living. I like to build things. I like to do labor. I like to do hard work. I like to do things that make me feel strong. I like to be the breadwinner in the house and to bring in money and to provide for my family in that way. And I like to protect people, and I like to support doing all of the things that, traditionally speaking, are roles of what a male would do in the household. And so, as a bisexual Jamaican woman, it has been very difficult for me to find where I fit, and I've had my heart broken by a million men, and I'm used to men not accepting my energy because I intimidate them. I'm used to that experience. I'm used to being pushed away or shoved out by men because they don't know how to deal with who I am as a person, because it challenges them in some way. But it's not my intention to challenge anybody. I just want to be accepted for who I am and to be appreciated at that. And so I found myself in a situation where I was in a relationship with a girl, and a very uncomfortable topic came up of us not being on the same page as it pertains to procreation. And I want to have children one day, and maybe she doesn't want to have children. Maybe that's the root of where all of this came from. But in order to push me away, there was an excuse made, and the conversation that came up was, I don't think that you're really gay because you want to have children. And that comment alone is homophobic, and it is harmful, and it triggered a lot of issues within me that I didn't know that still was dealing with, because I have very much grown past the idea of needing my family to approve of my choice in my partners, and I've accepted that they may not want to be a part of my life because it doesn't fit what they expect of me. And expectations create disappointments, and so I've always felt like I was a disappointment to them, and if I were to come to them and tell them my life choice, that they may not accept it or understand it. And I've worked through that, and I just thought that I got over that hump, but to have my partner regurgitate to me my worst fear, that I'm not accepted as being a woman who could see herself marrying and being with a woman for the rest of her life, and wanting to be a mother could pose such a problem that somebody would push me away. And this is something that deeply hurt me. And so basically what I wanted to say is just be careful how you speak to people, because you don't know what their experience has been and how hard it has been for them. And it was hurtful and unnecessary for that to take the path that it did. And their reason for saying what they said to me may not have had anything to do with me and what I'm going through, but it did really affect me. And through that experience, I felt the need to take space, which triggered their abandonment issues and made them feel like I was leaving them, when all I did was lock myself in my room for a couple of days, because that's what my dad does when he's sad and doesn't know how to confront those feelings. So I locked myself away for a few days, and eventually everything kind of fell apart after that. And I was made to feel guilty for my response to being hurt by something, and in the process of that, I was hurt even more. So I found myself at a loss of another relationship, and now unpacking all of these things that I thought I dealt with already that are not completely resolved. And this brings me to a greater issue that I've been dealing with, which is just that over the past couple of years I've been struggling with addiction and resulting to substance. And I was just sitting here writing what I think I need to say in front of a camera, and it's that people don't crave substances, they crave substance. And somebody said the other day that the opposite of addiction, the cure for addiction basically, is human connection. And it is something that we all crave and that we all need. And I think I didn't receive a lot of physical touch and love as a child that I really need, and I have a problem where I'm scared to let people get close to me now, because I am afraid that they will hurt me, because a lot of people who were meant to help me in life have hurt me. And I've gotten over that. I'm not a victim. I'm the hero of my story, and I've learned how to transmute that energy and how to heal myself. But at the end of the day, there is a problem that I have with agoraphobia and with social anxiety that comes with just not wanting to be perceived or judged by other people, and just wanting to be my authentic self and be accepted for who I am, and the fear of being around people who will misunderstand me and try to paint false narratives over me, and how painful that's been. So I isolate myself, and I'm craving that human connection, and that's what causes me to relapse, because I'm just desperately wanting to feel loved and accepted for who I am, and I'm not getting that. And so I find myself in this predicament where I find it easier to be alone, and I want to be alone, but I'm lonely. And they say that you're never lonely if you love the person you're alone with, but I don't really believe that, because I love who I'm alone with, but I just sometimes wish that I could feel that somebody resonates with me, or that I have somebody who just can understand my experience and hold me in that space and make me feel safe in that space. And I haven't received that. And so I think that's why I keep acting out and self-sabotage. And I just wanted to say that if you're going through that too, that I'm here for you, and you can always reach out to me, because you're not alone, and this is just suffering of human condition, and it's something that other people are also going through. And words can be hurtful, and to find the root of that problem and to address it is one thing, but to try and teach other people how to love you is hard, because not everybody shares the same ethos as you, not everybody has the same heart as you, and not everybody knows how to do that, because everybody is also dealing with their own traumas within their own self and their own life and with their own families. And so just having patience and communication is really important, and really being able to hear and see each other is really important. And I've struggled a lot with people who don't want to hear what it is that I have to say, because my words are sometimes taken wrong and considered as harmful, and I'm human and I make mistakes, and I'm working on being better at how I express myself, and I don't always have the words to articulate what it is that I'm feeling, but I'm working towards that, and this platform helps me to do that, so I'm using it for what it's meant for. I'm trying to get these messages out. I'm trying to help put a light into the universe and help that somebody gets that and can learn something from it and try to treat somebody else better because of that. And so if you're listening and watching this, I just want to thank you for taking the time to do that, and I honor you and taking steps towards supporting people who might be going through what I'm going through, and even yourself. It's important to remember not to bring shame or judgment into your conversations with people, because it can make them shy away, and it can make it hard for people to exist in a space. And we're really all just looking to find where we belong, and we belong everywhere, and it's not right that people make us feel sometimes that we don't belong. So do what you can to try and support your fellow brothers and sisters and help them to feel like they belong, because we may not always show it and we may not always say it, but at the root of our acting out is just that we're in pain and suffering, and we don't deserve to be feeling those things. So we should make it a point to try and create more safe spaces for one another, so that we don't have to continue feeling that way. And I think that's all I can really say on that at this point. But I don't know, thank you for listening. Thank you for receiving. And I wish you healing, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being here now. If you're suffering or going through anything like this, please reach out to the people that you can trust, and if you don't know who that is, then I just want to say that I'm one of those people. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Thank you for witnessing. Thank you for receiving. I hope.